Okay, guys, so this is going to be a different video. I don't like to get in front of the camera, but I'll do it for Jesus. So this is something that's been a long time in the making. About 2 years ago, he gave me a sermon. It was about 6 pages long. And I wrote it out, started my podcast, started recording it a little bit, and then put it to the side. And just put it on the back burner and just didn't pick it back up. And recently, I had a prophetic word, and he kind of brought it back to life and was like, okay, this is what you need to do. And then since then, I've had several people come to me and say, you're supposed to be doing something, you're supposed to be doing something. Okay, I get it. I'm here. So, this is going to be video 1 in a series. It's called No More Addiction. And I personally have never been an addict, but I have 5 different family members that have been an addict. My spouse is an addict. I've been to every AA meeting and NA meeting and Naranon and you name it, from anywhere in the state of Georgia. Been to all the rehabs, did all of it, as far as a family member anyway. My background was I actually wanted to help people because of that when I was younger. And I did counseling, psychology, and then minored in sociology. At church, I also do SOZOs. We call them life changes, but inner healing 101. So with all that said, God has placed it on my heart. Now let me preface this by saying, if you've been to rehab and you found God there, that's awesome and He led you there. If you're currently in one and He told you to go there, listen to Him. Just like institutions that are already there, banks and hospitals and things like that, He places godly people in there to reach people. He's going to find you anywhere. But this is something He has put on my heart to talk about. So I'm moving in forward in faith, and I'm going to do that. So what this is He basically is asked me to go through, and we'll do a deep dive of the big book and Celebrate Recovery. But the Lord has shown me, and I always got this feeling, having to go through this stuff with my spouse, that there's just something wasn't right. And I kept saying, that's just my fears. This is what's going on. And just seeing the positive in everything. And the Lord said, you've walked this. This is what I'm showing you. And basically you don't buy into the cult, the AA cult. And I know there's some of you on here that are going to see this and you're going to freak out and say, oh no, Jesus saved me through this and AA saved me, and I'm not an addict anymore. I'm a recovering. That's great. Again, I am not here to replace God for you. And if that's what He's told you to do and you're walking through that, absolutely go through that. But this is what He's asked me to do. So this is video 1. We're going to be diving into, like I said, the big book, everything else. But I just wanted to give it a preface and just let you know kind of what would be changing a little bit on my page. When it comes to recovery, the big thing is any meeting you go to, you stand up and you say, I am a alcoholic, drug addict, whatever. It never addresses your identity. That is saying that's taking up your identity right there and saying, I am this, I am that. No, you're a child of God. You are not that. And you're not a recovering. When Jesus heals you, you're healed. When Jesus went out with the Great Commission, He never said, hey, pick up your mat, follow me. We're going to go to a 12-step program. No, He reached out, prayed, boom, you're done. You're healed. Now, again, if He's telling you to do certain things, and sometimes you have to walk things out, and He will help you in that. But this is what He's asked me to do. So I'm going to do it. And there's just so many things where they use God, even though you have to, step 1, understand that you are, you're helpless to, control. I don't have this specific, but I do actually know this. I know the big book inside and out, believe me. But, you have to admit you're powerless. And then you have to admit that there's a higher power that's greater than you. Well, I mean, when you're having to admit there's a higher power that's greater than you of your own understanding and the way that you did things brought you to this point. You know, Jesus saves. And he doesn't need your money. And he doesn't need you to go separate yourself from your family, your friends. Now, sometimes detox, that's different. I get that. That's a physical need that sometimes people have to have. But again, I'm sharing exactly what God has asked me to share. This is video 1. There's a lot more to come.